where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome to the stream. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Okay, so the absolute genius of President Trump with this Middle Eastern trip. And I'm going to cover this on the program today. But what President Trump is doing is so brilliant, so amazing. No president not only would do this, no other president cared to do what it is that President Trump is doing right now in the Middle East. You know, there's a few pockets around the world that no matter what happens are always giving us some type of conflict. And one of the biggest areas of the world that's always giving us conflicts is, of course, the Middle East. And since I was a kid, I was in third grade when the Iranians took over the U.S. Embassy in 1979. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a big deal. And everybody was talking about it. Even when I was in third grade, you know, it was everywhere. And you know, people putting candles out for the hostages. And there's always been this talk of war with Iran, the military-industrial complex, these Nikki Haley types. They always went total war with Iran, which is insane, just completely insane. And it's endless. There's, Iran backs all these terrorists around the world, like Hamas and others. And also Iran, in the last few years since President Trump's first term, have hit squads out on him, okay? And as opposed to going to total war with Iran, President Trump has come up with a way to defeat Iran without any conflict whatsoever, and also to stop the endless violence in the Middle East. He is forming an alliance very similar to the NATO alliance, but in the Middle East. It's different, not exactly like NATO, but it is a coalition of nations. Started with the Abraham Accords. Yesterday, you could tell that the Saudi royal family love President Trump. They love Elon Musk too, don't they? And look at all these things he's doing to bring peace to the Middle East, bring peace to the world, and rid us of the constant threats from Iran. He lifting sanctions on Syria, which a lot of these warmongers have freakouts about. Did you see the reaction of the Saudis when he announced he was lifting sanctions on Syria? They loved it. The gift of the plane to the United States from Qatar, right? These are all olive branches he's doing to build bonds with these Middle Eastern countries. It'll stop the endless wars in the Middle East. And when the rest of the Middle East is on our side, Iran will fade away as a threat. A bribe. Did France bribe the United States when they gave us the Statue of Liberty, which is a priceless artifact of Western civilization? You're talking about a plane. You know, President Trump yesterday was talking about it's really embarrassing for him to pull up an Air Force One. He said Air Force One's like a hunk of junk compared to the planes that the Arab leaders have. And he's right. It's a disgrace. But he's forming new alliances all over the world, but in the Middle East in particular right now. And it is an absolutely amazing thing that he is doing. It is complete genius. He should get a Nobel Peace Prize for it. And I know the military-industrial complex don't like it. Air Force One's like 30 years old at least. It was first put into service when H.W. Bush was president. Bush 1. So, I mean, think about it. It's the same Air Force One that George Bush was on 9/11. You know, so it's old, it's out of date. We need something new. Boeing is trying to screw Trump over by not delivering the new Air Force One because they're pissed off at him and they don't want him to have it. But what President Trump is doing is forging a new alliance in the Middle East, just like the NATO alliance, except this one's an actual real alliance where they're not ripping us off because they have their own money as opposed to the thieves of Europe. So this is really amazing what he's doing. And I just don't think people have taken note of exactly what it is President Trump is doing in the Middle East. It's not just a trip, not just photo ops. It's a real major diplomatic mission. I'm going to talk about that on the program today. The thumbnail for the morning show is with Tucker Carlson, which I am going to cover that too, because Tucker Carlson, you know, he's spot on. Welcome from the Philippines. Welcome, welcome. Well, you know, we're friends and allies with a lot of former enemies of the United States, right? Germany, Japan, Italy, was one of the Axis powers. Here in Florida, where I live, the Seminole Indian tribe, very prominent here. We fought wars with them, the United States. They're our friends now. So things change. You really, things change. Welcome from Virginia. Saudi Arabia, welcome. We were just talking about this. You're really in Saudi Arabia? Awesome, welcome. We're talking about, the great respect that the Saudi royal family have for President Trump. You know, the Crown Prince came to the plane and waited for Trump to come down the steps. That is such a sign of respect for President Trump in the United States. And the military-industrial complex warmongers in this country want constant war going on and conflict. And there's no reason for this to continue. You know, lifting the sanctions on Syria, a lot of people don't like that. But look at what it's doing. Look at what it's doing. You know, we're going to have this incredible new alliance in the Middle East that's going to be firm and strong and united. And, Iran will cave to that. When the rest of the Middle East is allied with the United States, really allied, like the president's doing right now, Iran won't have a chance. Iran will be defeated without any military conflict. And for all the anti-Semites who say, oh, Israel first, and all, the Candace Owens crowd, really? Lifting sanctions on Syria? That's pro-Israel? You think Israel supports that? Netanyahu's not happy with Trump right now. It's America first. Yeah, we got no beef with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is awesome. The only thing I feel bad about with this trip is President Trump, like he said, he's got to go over there in this rundown, old, beat-up Air Force One as opposed to a beautiful new plane. And that's why he's accepting the gift from Qatar of the plane. It's, it's a way to bond. You don't want to insult them and turn down the gift to the United States. Yeah. I think it was amazing. I mean, and you could tell with the Saudi prince yesterday, he loves Trump as much as I do, and you MAGA people in the chat do, right? You could see it. That wasn't just some photo op. Okay, I got to take a picture with this guy. There's respect for the United States, respect for Trump, and a love for Trump too. I mean, it was not missed in this country. President Trump is the best president we've ever had. He is truly the only president we've had that puts America first. And he's doing a great job. Very good job. I mean, and look at the economic news. Egg prices dropped another 12%. The lowest inflation rate in years. Everything that Trump is doing is working out perfectly. Now, if you're new to my channel, My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe, all right? If you're new here, subscribe. You'll love my content. In a little more than an hour, I'll be live in the studio taking your calls. You gotta, at some point, you gotta move beyond these old rivalries. And, you know, I mean, look, we're friends with Germany and Japan after everything they did in the Second World War. You know, so why shouldn't we build an alliance with Saudi Arabia and Syria and the rest of the Middle East? Why not? Why not? Because the military-industrial complex doesn't want us to, because they want endless war. Come on. Come on. Even CNN's reporting the great economic news. Of course, I respect all communities in this country. LGBTQ, everybody. Well, you know, listen. Everything that President Trump has done this week, this trip to the Middle East, the prescription drug prices, freeing of the last American hostage held by Hamas, all these things, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I don't know if I'm ready to go to Saudi Arabia, but I couldn't take that much time off work. But if any of you Saudis want to come to Florida, you should. It's beautiful. No, they don't. But they, the way to end the endless conflict with Israel and, the terrorist organizations that attack Israel all the time, Hamas has, that's all Iran. The way to end all that is for the United States to build alliances with countries like Syria. I don't know who says tourism is down. Things are pretty busy here in Florida. I know they keep saying that on the news, but it's not. Well, yeah, I mean, both, when he went to Saudi Arabia the first time, they treated him amazing. And then yesterday, the same thing. The plane from Qatar, the chances of Trump flying on that as president are pretty slim. The president has to fly on special military-built aircraft, which that is not. I am MAGA for life, absolutely. MAGA for life, of course. Oh, I'd be happy with a third, fourth term for President Trump. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the BLT community, too. Bacon, lettuce, tomato. Absolutely. No, I am not driving a Tesla. Mark Levin is never happy. In fact, I'm going to be talking about that on the show this morning. That's what Tucker Carlson went off on Mark Levin. So I'm going to share what Tucker said about Mark Levin, share what Mark Levin said about Steve Witkoff, and cover that as well. I believe in the Constitution. Yes, I believe in the Constitution. It exists. It is a real document that exists, and I do support it too. No, this is made in America, made in the USA. Okay? Every day I got to show this tag, made in the USA. See, right there. It's an official Trump cap. All the official Trump caps are made in America. Okay? Mark Levin, I'll talk more about this on the show this morning. He's an establishment Republican guy. Sorry. All the official Trump hats, this is from the Trump store. All of his hats are made in the USA. No, I am parked. I am waiting for Starbucks to open so I can get coffee. The Constitution can be amended. It's been amended 27 times. It would not be, the plane would not be donated to the Trump Library. It would be loaned to the Trump Library. Loaned. Loaned is different than a gift. Mm-hmm. Big difference. Big difference. I'm really looking forward to the Trump Presidential Library. I really am going to be probably the best library of all. I can't wait. You know, I wonder, what do you guys think? Let me know the answer to this in the chat. Why is CNN all of a sudden reporting Biden's cognitive decline and acting like they had no idea, by the way, for 4 years? Why do you think they're doing that? Tapper has the book out, and they're talking about it constantly. Why do you think they're doing that? It's, you know, they covered it up for 4 years, and now that's all they're talking about on CNN. It's hard to make sense out of it. It really, really is, isn't it? Make sure that you subscribe, guys, if you are new to my channel. And if you're already sub, please like and share the video on your socials if you don't mind. Trying to get credibility, so yeah, CNN will never regain credibility. Leftist propaganda. They have an agenda with doing it. Gaslighting, yeah. There's some agenda, but I'm not exactly sure. Well, you know, to not accept the gift from Qatar would be an insult to Qatar. You know, France donated the Statue of Liberty to the United States. Was that a bribe? What year did they give us the Statue of Liberty? Does anyone know? I can't Google while I'm streaming on my phone. Who was the president when they gave us the Statue of Liberty? The French. 1878? So who was president in 1878? The plane from Qatar is dark MAGA mode engaged. The plane from Qatar is also a gift to the United States. Woodrow Wilson, no, Woodrow Wilson was not president then. He was president during World War I. Not accepting a gift is an insult. That is correct. And it'd be a big insult. Harrison, maybe. So when France gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States, like Qatar is gifting this beautiful airplane to the United States, was that a bribe? I don't think so. I've never heard anyone refer to France bribing the United States with the Statue of Liberty. It's a sign of respect that the president deserves a nicer plane. Rutherford B. Hayes was president? Okay. So was President Hayes being bribed by France? I don't think so. No one's ever suggested that. And the Statue of Liberty is more valuable than the plane. Well, they had to reassemble it and put it up. Yeah, sure. You know, the plane from Qatar, to be used by a president, has to go through major renovations. Major renovations. No, one, you just don't like Trump. That's it. The never-Trumpers, they just don't like Trump. If Trump cured cancer, the trolls would be attacking him for it. The Statue of Liberty is worth a lot more than that plane. It sure is. Jesus does exist, absolutely. Well, it's a little big for a presidential library. Presidential libraries are filled with gifts. I remember I went to President Nixon's library in California. There was a big piece of the Berlin Wall there. The presidential limousine was there. I went to President Carter's Presidential Museum in Atlanta, Georgia. When I first walked in, they had an outfit and a headpiece. I don't know if it was a crown, but a headpiece that belonged to the Shah of Iran. Presidents, are gifted things all the time. They're not allowed to take gifts. Okay, so there are always gifts to the United States, and many of them are on display in presidential museums. This is just a super cool gift. Yeah. I can't wait. I hope the Qatar plane makes it to the Trump Presidential Museum. I'll be able to visit it and walk inside of it. I don't think President Trump will ever fly in this plane as president. I don't think so. Now, he may fly it back to Florida after the inauguration of the second MAGA president, whenever that is, 2032, 2036. But for a sitting president to fly on a plane, it has to have countermeasures, weapons abilities, maneuverability abilities, communication centers, all kinds of things. And I don't think this plane's ever going to be able to have that. I just don't. It may be too big to be maneuverable. There's an Air Force One at Ronald Reagan's library. There's an Air Force One at a museum in Ohio. There's Air Force Ones at other presidential libraries. Mm-hmm. It's a gift to the U.S. government. It's amazing to me that liberals are trying to make a scandal out of a gift from another nation. Yep, the cherry blossoms from Japan, and those are very, very much an artifact of America. Those cherry blossoms, they really are. Mm-hmm. The Epstein files that you think of just don't exist. Criminals don't put in files their crimes. People don't record their crimes for the most part. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new to my channel. I would appreciate that. Oh, I think we're going to find the new pope is much more MAGA than you guys realize. Yeah, why should we not make friends with these Middle Eastern countries? Well, first off, we already have a military base in Qatar, and we're already allied with Qatar. And President Trump has his own planes, and his planes are pretty bad. Man, he's got some cool planes. In fact, one of, not Trump Force One, he has a smaller jet that he flies a lot of times, and during the campaign for security reasons, because it's unmarked, it doesn't have Trump all over it. It's the fastest civilian aircraft that you're allowed to own by law in the United States. So he has planes already, and he could buy more if he wanted. He's a billionaire after all. Mm-hmm. Yep, he has helicopter too. I mean, he has his own aircraft. Presidents are not allowed to drive on public roads. Even ex-presidents aren't supposed to be doing that. Trump is pretty famous. Yeah, those robots are pretty freaky. Elon said one of the robots did the Trump dance to YMCA, to the Saudi royal family and Trump yesterday. Mm-hmm. Well, Trump derangement syndrome is a real mental condition. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it really is. It's getting worse. Trump derangement syndrome is really getting worse. It's because Trump is doing so well. Everything's going perfectly. The better Trump does, the more insane the leftist will get. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the chat right now live, where are you watching from? Like what state, what country? Missouri, Virginia, India, welcome. West Virginia, Iowa, Oklahoma, Orlando, Florida, Europe, Saudi Arabia, Oregon, UK, Michigan, Georgia, Tennessee, New York City, Wyoming, wow. Bulgaria, welcome Bulgaria. Vegas, Pennsylvania, Oregon, South Carolina, Florida, Arkansas, Nebraska, Russia, welcome Russia. Hopefully Putin shows up at that summit meeting this week. You know, if we get, you know, I was shocked. President Trump said over 5,000 are dying a day in the Russian-Ukraine war. For what? There's no hope for Ukraine to win that. It's a tiny little country. Argentina, welcome. The Russian people are not our enemy. Kansas City, Missouri, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Compared to Russia, it is. We didn't lose Vietnam. We just had cowardly leaders who wouldn't allow the war to be fought, and then they bugged out. Delaware, welcome. The Russian people are not our enemy, and Russia's not our enemy. We're not at war with Russia. Palm Bay, Florida, welcome. Corrupt New York. Have you all subscribed? Make sure you subscribe, guys. Russia is not America's enemy. Now, Ukraine, that's another story. Google Myths. Well, thank you for subscribing and welcome. Wait till you see my next stream. I'll be taking live calls from the studio. Those of you that are new to my channel, I host a morning radio show that's on a whole bunch of radio stations. And when I'm on the radio, I live stream here on YouTube. I'm in my car now waiting for Starbucks to open so I can get coffee. But next time you see me, I'll be in my studio, and I go live at 6 a.m. Eastern until 9 a.m. weekdays. And dark MAGA mode re-engaged. The Netherlands, welcome. Do I think the UK is America's ally? Not really, no. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. The deep state of the UK has been undermining the United States since 1773. Even before we were a country, certainly since 76. Alberta's welcome to join the United States. They seem all right, Alberta. Mm-hmm. I'm in Florida too, Matthew Smith. We're not losing allies. You know, these European countries have not been our allies for a long time. We're building new alliances with people that really are friends, not fake friends that rip us off like Europe's been doing. Mm-hmm. Dark MAGA mode off. Florida is the best state to live in the United States. The best state. Absolutely, it's the best state. And it's Trump country. President Trump lives here in Florida. Big chunk of the cabinet live in Florida. It's tiny compared to Russia. Absolutely. Who are our new allies? Italy, El Salvador, soon to be Syria. Hurricanes are not as big of a thing as you think. I live in South Florida, and we haven't had a hurricane in years. And for the most part, you know, if you're prepared, hurricanes are not as bad as you think. Yeah, Greenland. Joking about what, Mantis? I've lived in Florida almost my whole life. Don't know anyone that's been attacked or eaten by an alligator. They have about 57,000 people in Greenland. Mm-hmm. Well, it would be nice to be allied with Russia again. Absolutely. We defeated the Nazis with the... If it wasn't for Russia, Hitler would have won the war. I've eaten alligator before. Alligator doesn't taste that great. It tastes like... people say chicken. It tastes more reptilian than chicken-like. Gamey reptile is what it tastes like. If you get alligator, get it blackened. Yep, you eat the gator tail. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. No, Trump is not a racist. Remember Tom Arnold used to say he had a tape of him saying the N-word? What happened to that, Tom Arnold? Exactly. Crocodiles are not alligators. What false information, Bobby? Alligator gamey reptile? No, that's true. Russia lost more than any other allied nation in the war, lives-wise, and they kept the Russians very busy on the Eastern Front. Mm-hmm. So they did a lot to defeat the Russians, or the Russians did a lot to defeat the Nazis. It's sad. Yep, very sad. I mean, look at this, what the people of Stalingrad went through. My goodness. Yeah, they've read Twilight, exactly. Atlanta, Georgia, welcome. Welcome. Make sure you subscribe, guys. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You know, those of you in the chat that are MAGA, what do you think Trump's greatest accomplishment so far has been from both terms? I would say him overturning Roe v. Wade is his greatest accomplishment, because how many lives will exist that never would have if it was not for that? But what do you think is his greatest accomplishment from both terms so far at this point? Now, if you just got to pick one, I say Roe v. Wade. I mean, how many babies have been born since he overturned Roe v. Wade? And that will go on forever. Plus, they'll have children that never would have been born. I mean, that's amazing. That's a hard one to beat. Oh, he has a lot of great accomplishments, but what do you think is his greatest in your opinion? I don't know, Renee. How many? Oh, Trump by far. Oh, he's done a lot, President Trump. Mm-hmm. Europe is just basically a tourist trap now. Europe really isn't the center of anything. It's just a tourist trap, like Disney World or South. You guys know south of the border? South of the border. That's Europe. I have no interest in visiting Europe. Zero. None. I could go to Europe if I wanted. Have zero interest in visiting Europe. Oh no, he's got a lot of great accomplishments, but what do you think is his greatest if you could just pick one? I say overturning Roe v. Wade. Listen, millions and millions, maybe even billions of people will be born and live lives because President Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. The only reason people go to Europe is for tourism. That's exactly right. It's a tourist trap. That's right. Yeah, over the course of time, these are babies that are going to be born and have children when they grow up, and they're going to have children, and they're going to have their children are going to have children. So every year, it'll build and build and build how many lives will be lived because President Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment. Absolutely. Think about that. I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, for the rest of eternity, it could literally be billions of lives will have lived because of President Trump overturning Roe v. Wade over the course of the rest of history. Mm-hmm. True. That's a tough one to trump. No, just a little tired. I need my coffee. I'm waiting for Starbucks. I wish they opened at 5. This 5:30 thing is just a pain. All the babies that are born that would not have been born, that would have been aborted. That's who we're talking about. hmm And I don't think women really are upset about Roe v. Wade. I don't hear these abortion activists whining about Roe v. Wade. Do you? No. Mm-mm. The Handmaid Tales crowd? By your definition of fetus, we're all fetuses, not humans. hmm What am I delusional about, Tom? Well, I talked to my wife and my daughter. They don't seem to mind. That's correct. Doesn't matter what they do, they'll be born and they'll have lives. Handmaid Tale is an angry lesbian woman's fantasy about the future. It's pathetic. hmm Yeah, have you? Yes. The woman that wrote Handmaid's Tale is a man-hating woman, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. It's a all hate. The way they portray Christianity, it's disgusting. What part of Handmaid's Tale is real history in this country? Are you kidding me? It's crazy. Absolutely insane to say that. Oh, yeah, Europe has failed. They're a big nothing. Europe is nothing these days. They used to have influence and juice, but washed up has-been countries for the most part. No. I support Trump running for life. 3rd, 4th, 5th term, 10th term, 20 terms. I'd be happy with that. Mm-hmm. Is this the final season of The Handmaid's Tale? What are the man-haters going to watch when this is over? The final season of Handmaid's Tale. Poland, okay, now Poland's an exception. Italy and Poland are exceptions. They're our friends. India's not in Europe. And India's been ripping us off with the tariffs. My goodness. They have the highest tariffs, President Trump says, India. Shame on them. Mm-hmm. I got to turn the air conditioning on. It's Florida, you know. Definitely need the AC, even though it's 5:21 a.m. Scandinavian countries gave us ABBA. What else have they given us? Make sure you subscribe, guys, if you are new to my channel. And if you'd like to support my content, go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, for huge savings. Yeah, what was, and they gave us ABBA and Ace of Base. What else did they give us? The Scandinavian countries. Ace of Base and ABBA. Remember Ace of Base? Anybody remember Ace of Base? They thought Ace of Base thought they were going to be the new ABBA, but that didn't last long. Oh, wait a minute. No. Where's AHA from? What country is AHA from? They gave us, I think they gave us AHA too. I hate IKEA. Yeah, AHA. So we got, that's what the Scandinavian countries gave us. ABBA, Ace of Base, and AHA. Which is, everybody loves AHA. All of AHA's songs are great, not just Take On Me. I worked at music stations before I did talk radio, but I wasn't on the air at the music stations. So no, the whole time I've been on the air, I've been talking. AHA's from Sweden, yeah. And everyone loves Take On Me. But all their songs are good, not just Take On Me. I've got the album. If I had my coffee, I'd be able to tell you the name of it. I can't remember the name of the album that has AHA on it. And that is every song is great. IKEA is a trap. You go into an IKEA store and you're locked in until you get to the exit. It's ridiculous. It's a trap. People have been divorced over frustrations of putting together IKEA furniture, I'm sure. Yeah, you're locked in. And then they make you eat Swedish meatballs. IKEA is cool to go to one time. I bought some IKEA furniture and none of it lasted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make you go through the little food court with their Swedish meatballs. It's a joke. Now, they'll be opening up in a few minutes. I definitely need my coffee. Shock news in San Francisco. Oh, Trump's the best. I mean, we're so lucky to have President Trump. We really are. I still, it's hard to believe he's president again. It's crazy. 2 non-consecutive terms after all the crap they put him through. It's absolutely amazing that President Trump is back, isn't it? It blows my mind. I mean, look at how the Saudis showed so much respect. Not only did the prince meet him at the stairs at Air Force One, they brought in a mobile McDonald's for him so he could have McDonald's. That was just total respect. Total respect. I know it is. It's crazy. I was going to be reelected. I was confident through the whole 4 years, but it's just amazing. Yeah, the American flags. It was great. It's like 4th of July parade over there. They brought out those guys on horses. It was respect. It was respect for Trump and the United States and the American people. Right? It was really a sign of respect. Exactly. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, all right? And the next stream will be starting in 30 minutes, maybe less, and I'll be taking live calls, okay? So I'll see you then, all right? Take care. My name's Brian.